out it.
Yo.
Morning, everyone else.
Morning.
Bang's desk.
Everyone else.
Meth run info. Stephen Joyce. You've got the rundown. Let's bring everyone up to speed.
Ooh, where the fuck do we start? Okay. So, I'll start at the beginning. Obviously, does everyone here know about the sighting of the blue and purple GTR around the lab? James saw them.
No.
So, yeah, blue and purple GTR. James saw them like scouting out the lab. Made us sus. It was weird because obviously where that lab is, there's no reason for cars to be on the hills. Turns out that car belongs to a Arthur Lionheart or Ironheart.
Okay,
Some shit like
can you
that.
speak up, Steve?
Yeah.
It is Lionheart.
Lionheart. Okay, he is a Hayes supervisor. So we started with him. We took him. We kidnapped him. It was Miguel and what, 4 of us, I think. And we found out some info off him. He couldn't give us much, but he gave us a name of somebody that had access to his car up until about 4 days prior to the kidnapping, and that was Chunker Robinson. So
Chunker what?
Chunker Robinson.
What a name.
So he works at Hayes. I have sold him a car in the past. At the time, we were still convinced Arthur was withholding information, but we went on to this Chunker guy. We kidnapped the Chunker guy. His phone was relatively clean, but from his phone we got a few more names, a few more numbers, and he gave us the names of all the people, you know, that he rolls with. They jokingly called themselves the Hayes Gang. The names he gave us were obviously himself, Louis Blanc, Rowie Smith or Rowan Smith, and then a guy named Frog.
What?
Yeah, Frog. So the
That's
guy
not
goes
his
by
Govy,
Frog.
right? That's like his...
No, it's not his
yeah.
Govy.
I was gonna
So
say
he goes by Frog, and we were like, okay, well, what's his name? And he's like, oh, I don't know his name. He just goes by Frog. But apparently they've known each other 2 months, and they do meth runs, weed runs. They wanted to buy a warehouse together. They work together at Hayes, all this shit, right? So we knew he was talking shit. We got Frog's number off his phone, and then searched his text messages, and we found his text with Frog, and the very first text from Frog was a screenshot of Frog himself tweeting with the name of Frog in the tweet. So we knew for a fact he was talking shit.
Well, what are you saying?
The tweet was irrelevant.
We have
his name
Govy
is
now.
his Govy is Jay Wong. So we got Smalls from Seaside to come out and have a chat with us. It was me and Denzel and him, and he basically said, oh, Chunker definitely knows his name. He's talking shit. They've been around each other every day for the past 2 months. I don't know why he'd lie about that. So Smalls, who's like a day one of all these boys. So all these do a lot of
Smalls
meth
is
and meth
Seaside,
runs and
right?
shit. Smalls is Seaside, right?
Got you.
These boys do meth runs and shit, and they need somebody to do the meth run for them because they're not in a gang. So Smalls is that guy. So he's very close with all of them, and he basically landed Chunker and shit. So at that point, we made the decision to not shoot him in the face because we reckon it would get us nowhere, even though we knew he was lying through his teeth. So we went up to him. We were like, "Yeah, fuck, sorry about this, bro. We got the wrong guy," and we just uncuffed him and left him.
He was confused, like
Gave him his shit, but he was baffled. Then Miguel woke up about 6 hours later, and we informed him of that. And Miguel decided to pick him up again, Chunker, from a race. So when Miguel picked him up 6-7 hours later and went through his phone, he found texts between Chunker and John. Now I don't have all the texts, but he
As in
sent me
Seaside
one key.
John.
Seaside John, yeah.
Yeah.
He sent me one of the texts, and it's John texting Chunker saying, "You bitch maid, cut this short. I'm tired and don't want to be in this bush any longer, or I'm just going to pop out and blow up this whole operation. Arthur dog walked you." So the gist of it was, Arthur and Chunker went and had a chat on a mountain after Chunker got picked up by us, because he realized Arthur like name dropped him and shit. And John was in the bush for this whole conversation. So John was like heavily involved. So those texts basically confirmed to us that Seaside had involvement in all this.
You think
still
it's
have-
involvement in the sense of like knowledge of it or actual like
That's what we're not
contributing to it?
100% sure of. So later that night, after I went to sleep, John. Well, first of all, we picked up Louis next. Me, Miguel, and Future. Louis is a hangaround for Seaside. Okay, Louis Blanc. We picked them up. John wasn't happy. At the time, John didn't know Mandem were involved in the kidnapping. He thought it was just Future and Miguel. So I ran into John like shortly afterwards, and I played it off and acted like I had no fucking clue. Of course, John later found out off Louis that I was there because we didn't shoot him or anything. We gave him a ship back. From that kidnapping, we didn't get much. We just got an extra name, which was Poe. Poe Dempsey. Poe Dempsey. We believe he is GG. But he was name dropped a few times in different conversations between all these Haze Gang people, and he is Louis Blanc's brother. Beyond that, I don't think there's any more links, but each time we've kidnapped people, we've just, been looking into each person.
He's smashing his TLDR, bro.
Did you mention why we went into the frog guy? Like, looked into him. So the original Chunker guy was like, he was pretty open to give information about every name, but from the frog guy, he was denying knowing his govy, but then we found out very quickly he knew his govy, and we knew he knew the guy well. Have you mentioned the White House stuff?
Is it all speculation?
Have you been zoned out this whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. Like, do we know that they're actually trying to, or
I'll get there. So we had Louis, got nowhere. John then found out obviously I was involved, and he started texting me a load of waffle, saying, "Thought we had a good enough relationship where you could approach me, but if this is how you want to approach things, then say less. Why are you rolling up into our shit, strong arming people? No respect. If I just started grabbing Mandem members up all over the city, you would have a certain feeling."
That's what John said to you.
And then he called me, and started waffling about respect, and he thought the bridge was being built and all this shit. Right? That's Mario, no?
Yeah, we need to get the camera things, innit?
For me to call him quick.
Wait till after this. We'll do this, and then we'll do it as a group.
Just text him and say we'll give us 5 or some shit. Where was I? Fuck. Where the fuck was I? Somebody help.
You're saying about the strong arm in the kidnapping.
Oh yeah, he called me. Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, I thought Mandem and Seaside were on a path to rebuild the bridge that was broken and all this shit." He started waffling, right? I basically said to him, "Look, we didn't take Louis because he's a Seaside hangaround. You can look into it how you want, but he was name dropped multiple times by all these people. Whether he's a part of that group anymore, he was at one point. That's why he was picked up to be questioned. We didn't do anything."
So I'm gonna call him quick. I know all of this.
Yeah, you do know all of this, yeah. And he was still waffling. And then he apparently met up with Miguel after I went to sleep. And he admitted to Miguel that
this is John.
The frog, yeah. He admitted to Miguel that the frog and chunker guy approached Seaside to take our lab. And apparently Seaside told him, "Nope, not happening. Don't do that shit. It's not going to end well," essentially. So that was that. Miguel called John out for bullshitting me over the phone for talking about respect and rebuilding the bridges, yet they had info on our lab trying to be taken and they didn't tell us.
They told it to Miguel because they obviously fear Hydra more than us.
So then we met up with Seaside yesterday. Originally we met up with KJ. It was me, James, and Denzel. I don't think Denzel is overly happy after this meeting, I'll be honest, just giving people warning. Because in that meeting with KJ, me and James were being very, very skeptical, not really giving him much info, trying to let KJ speak rather than us speak. And we were kind of subtly pressing him without being too, big dick, right? Because at this point, we knew they were lying. Denzel essentially started to give them a lot of the information we knew. And Miguel was listening in this conversation, and then when the meeting ended, Miguel basically tore into Denzel and ended up walking off the block saying he's going to shoot him. He's going to leave before he shoots Denzel.
And that's when you guys shot him, right?
No.
So you're just gonna let Miguel talk to Denzel like that?
Do you want to shoot Miguel?
Yeah.
Carry on.
If he talks to Denzel
Let's just
Moses,
pause. Just
Moses.
carry on the story. We can keep moving for now. There's no point going into this for now.
So what we wanted KJ to do, because KJ was playing dumb, but we kind of knew he was already lying. So he approached the meeting like, oh yeah, I heard about something about to do with, you know, one of my boys spoke to Miguel, blah 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 blah. What are you fucking celebrating about?
We've got some good news.
Go on.
So he's gone through the logs. Who's buying cameras the most over the past 2 days? It's Hardcastle and Jay Wong. So
Jay Wong is
Wait,
Frog.
so he's actively about.
Frog. He's actively about and buying cameras in the past 2 days.
Said, okay, here's what we're doing. When tsunami hits, we are bush camping the lab. And if someone pulls up to put down cameras, we're fucking picking them up. Okay?
Remember Hardcastle as well. He's a cop, so just keep.
Okay,
When's the last
was the
time?
mayor.
Wait, hold on. When's the last time that he bought cams?
I don't know. So he said the last 2 days or two something, and then I also asked if Miguel could get access, so Miguel will be able to literally look through the logs.
You said
Let
2
us know
days, right?
everything. It was either 2 days or 2 weeks. I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was more excited he said Jay Wong, to be honest.
Can you like call him back and get that info real quick? If he's going to sleep.
I think he's gone bed.
Probably already gone bed.
Yeah, but I'm in.
Because that's kind of key. Because the thing is with the go in there to catch him. Realistically, if we've been picking man up left, right, and center and questioning him, I wouldn't be surprised if the fact he ain't bought cameras for 2 days is because it's been 2 days since we started poking around, and now they know we're onto him.
Either way, we'll find out later. As soon as Miguel's about, he'll let us know.
I still think at tsunami we should
Yeah, we
head
can
up
go.
the bushes.
I mean, yeah, we may as well, innit, just to see. But
take some.
I wouldn't be surprised
ready
if
on
he's
some bikes and head up.
killed his operation off for the time being.
I'd assume it's 2 weeks because 2 days is just a weird time period, to be honest. So, but yeah.
Yeah, but that changes a lot. To be fair, if it's 2 weeks or 2 days, so
2 days makes
Yeah.
it line up with us finding out, and 2 weeks then it has no correlation.
So yeah, basically it was evident from the start KJ was lying to us, and you know initially he was like, oh, you know, I heard one of my boys met with Miguel last night and they talked about some shit. You know, he's been very vague, right? And then as the meeting progressed, we got more and more out of him that basically in their newsletter John had put everything there. So he came there lying to us. And we were gonna let, you know, we told them enough to then go back and find out what the fuck was going on. Then they came back to us a couple hours later, and we had a meeting. It was me. Who was there, Matt? Me, you, Miguel.
Jay and no, James and Denzel.
James wasn't there, so Denzel. Yeah,
Which
Hmm.
mean
we
you
met
met
with
about?
the one at the fucking Sandbass funeral.
I low key believe
James
that.
Brown.
Yeah.
I
so it
kind
was
of
Denzel,
believe
and
Seaside.
it was John, Smalls, KJ, and
But
Michael
they
Simone.
actually did deny that they want to take the lab, but
They pulled up, and as soon as they seen Miguel
they
there,
still
were on
lied
smoke,
to us.
to be honest. Started making passive-aggressive, sarcastic comments about Mandem having new recruits and shit when they saw Miguel. You know Miguel, he told him to shut the fuck up, basically. And I'll be honest, if it wasn't for Michael Simone, I don't think that meeting would have happened. He was the only one to, like, from their side to cut the bullshit and get the meeting started. They started the meeting with, you can choose whether to believe this or not, which was a big red flag already. Not a great start. Apparently Smalls has known about them trying to take our lab for 3 months.
What is with people in the city?
3 months.
Yeah.
And apparently only Smalls and Seaside knew, nobody else.
Context. Apparently, this Smalls guy is like A1 with this chunker guy.
I've said that.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, so you know you said about how they offered it, they offered the chance to steal the lab to Seaside. Was this when he first found out, or is that recently?
3 months ago.
So they offered him the chance 3 months ago.
Yeah. So apparently they approached Smalls 3 months ago, literally saying, "We know where Mandem's lab is. You know, we want help."
They got that Louuis guy to back off as well, didn't they?
Were we cooking
Yeah,
3 months ago?
No.
Yeah, quick question. When did we...
Hydra probably was though, wasn't it?
You Hydra... Yeah. I was gonna say, if we were...
Yeah, but they approached saying it was Mandem's lab, so I don't know.
It was the information probably came from John because he knew exactly where our old lab was. And so
Because he was
another
Ballers when Ballers had access.
little bit more context as well. So there's this guy called Louis that's like in this Hayes gang that chills with them heavy, but was kind of getting brought into Seaside, and they told him to separate from that group because I think they knew what they were getting into with like the whole lab stuff. So just keep that in mind. Seaside definitely knew.
Mm-hmm. So they came with the story that it was only Smalls. The rest of them only found out yesterday / the day before yesterday. We caught them out with a lie. Smalls said, you know, oh, he only came to me. He didn't ask for Seaside as a whole. John said, you know, it was approached to Seaside. And they had a bit of a awkward silence when they conflicted each other in the meeting. John was like, well, that's what I was fucking told. And Smalls was like, no, it was just me. So
I swear John was involved in some meth lab shit with us previously, no? Like way back.
He was Ballers
he
when
was
we
Ballers
got
when you
Ballers.
shared it with Ballers.
Yeah.
He knows the area. He's like one of the only people that like we know 1000% actually know. And he would have
also-
told Seaside.
Also, just while it's on my mind, so I don't forget, you should ask Mario when he's next awake to check back to how long that guy or frog, whatever his govy is, has been buying cameras to see it. Because if he can
Miguel should have
check,
logs.
he can see if
So-
he's been buying cameras like 3 months ago. Like you'll be able to monitor like how long he's been doing it by looking at his purchases.
Yeah.
Either way, us knowing he buys them from that store will give us logs for whatever we need.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Yeah.
Miguel has access as soon as he's about. We're gonna know a lot.
Probably should have asked him for access for us too. One of us.
Yeah, I don't want to over push it. You know what I mean? It's still his business at the end of the day. He's helping us massively by getting Miguel on board. So
Yeah. But that was that. The meeting basically ended. They told us they're not going to protect Chunker and Frog. Miguel told them if they're at Hayes, they're getting picked up at Hayes, and that like just so they know. And they're like, they weren't happy with that, but you know, they're branded as Hayes Gang, so I mean, they're
The
more than likely going to be
meeting-
found at Hayes.
the meeting ended in like a passive aggressive way. Like
Mhm.
I think one of Seaside said something like "Good luck finding them," and then Miguel said like "Good luck hiding them," you know. And then Simone had like a back and forth as Seaside walked off.
Yeah,
I think
And
they
I
lied to
believe
us
they have-
for the longest, but
Yeah.
I actually believe him about the. I believe him about the whole they got offered it and denied it.
Yeah, I mean they probably
do
did
believe
deny
that.
it, but the fact is,
They lied to us for 3
refuse
months,
to
though.
believe. I refuse to believe Smalls turned down that opportunity without bringing it to at least another member of Seaside.
Oh yeah, it would have been
Question, though.
discussed for
If,
sure.
if someone brought that to me, for example, I would 100% have a meeting with whoever's around and see what people thought before I gave an answer.
Yeah, they would have made a group
because-
decision to not do
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Question though, that text John sent, whichever one, being like, clean up the operation or I'm exposing it.
Yeah.
What was the point of that if they're not
The
involved?
context of that was Chunker was having a meeting with Arthur, and John was for some reason in a bush listening to it, texting Chunker.
So Arthur is involved as well.
Arthur's not involved, so we picked him up again last night, and we're 99% sure he's innocent. The involvement of Arthur was, and I believe him at this point, and so I think everyone believes him now because after last night,
Yeah.
the way I skipped a pretty important detail when we first picked up this Arthur guy. He's a proper civ, right? And he loves his dog. So Miguel, to make sure this guy wasn't lying, Miguel got him to take a gun and point it at Miguel's dog, and he took a picture of it, right? And you think, oh fuck, that's good blackmail, so he'd lose his dog with that, right? No, Miguel shot his own fucking dog and then made him take a picture of it crouched beside it, so then it looks like this Arthur guy killed Miguel's dog. So if the Arthur guy was lying at all, Miguel would just get his dog taken by Polito Pets.
Classic.
And 14
So-
years. for
And
killing
14
a
years
dog.
for killing a dog, yeah.
What
So
what breed was it?
Poodle.
it was a poodle.
Miguel has a poodle?
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
named Pooh.
Had a poodle.
Had a
Yeah.
poodle.
Yeah, he had a poodle named Pooh.
His name was Pooh, yeah.
Rest
Damn.
in peace, Pooh.
Rest up, Pooh.
Rest in
Honestly, that
peace.
doesn't
Pour one
surprise
out
me,
for the
though.
fallen soldier.
So we picked him up again last night to the, because after all the shit and all the meetings and people threatening to kill him and stuff, we reckoned, it's a good time to make him switch, right? Make him flip. If he had anything to tell us, he'd tell us. So we drove him up to Toledo, and the whole way up, Miguel was like saying he spoke to Tessa, and Tessa said it's a 14-year sentence if he can prove someone killed the dog. And that he was going up to Toledo Pets to meet with, what's the Toledo Pets owner called?
Babas?
Babus or
Yeah,
something.
something like that.
Yes,
Babushka?
something like that.
Yeah, but something.
So as we were pulling up to Toledo Pets, he basically gave him an out to come clean with everything, and we brought him to the pier, and he didn't tell us any more details, couldn't tell us any more details, but he tried like setting up Chunker and Frog, but they weren't awake to pick up his calls. So we're pretty much almost 100% certain he's actually innocent. The reason why he was pulled into it is because he needed keys to a house because he was trying to get a cat from Toledo Pets. He didn't own a house at the time, so he got keys to Chunker's house.
Oh my god, I should get a Benji.
So his car was parked in Chunker's house, which is the R35 we saw at the lab originally. And that's pretty much his only involvement.
Gotcha, so his car was just being used by somebody else.
They were using someone else's car, and it happened to be this guy's. And it just so happened that we got enough out of him by getting Chunker's name and stuff to find out all this shit.
Barky Kane got
I wouldn't
killed
rule it
by a
out completely
bull.
that he has some involvement, but I can't lie, after all the emotional shit he's gone through and he hasn't changed his story once, I do think he's actually innocent.
I mean, and we got enough evidence elsewhere pointing at bigger people to worry about than him, I guess. So.
So we need to get Frog, basically. We've had Chunker. We wouldn't mind getting Chunker again now that we've had it confirmed to us that it's him and Frog. Then we can actually just fucking, Saint, you got a knife on you by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say less.
Issue is, Seaside are 100% going to communicate to the people we're looking for now that we're looking for them, if they didn't already know.
Yeah.
So they're going to be hiding tenfold, isn't it? Can make it work, though. If we get to the... Me and Patar can be at the lab probably rapid after Tsunami, so we can just be there and wait for like 10-15 minutes.
What are we doing? Just hiding in the bush, watching to see if anyone goes there?
Just see if anyone pulls up. If they don't, they don't. But it's worth a check for like 10, innit?
Yeah.
Dive into that bush.
What?
Yeah, so that's that. I mean, we don't need to pay attention to Seaside anymore, I'll be honest. But they were lying through their teeth, so just...
Are them lot loyal to... See, like, that group, that Hayes gang, do we know, like, they are just straight up loyal to Seaside?
Because Chunker said at one point he wanted to join, but apparently not anymore, is how we put it. I would be concerned about their loyalty to Seaside, because key note is Louis Blanc was in that group, and he was told by Seaside to distance himself from them, and is now a hangaround. So it's pretty clear Seaside don't fuck with them that much to have them in the gang.
Plus, he said when we spoke to the guy at the pier, I forget what his name is, the Seaside guy, he said to shoot them. Like Chunker and them, man.
He didn't say to shoot them, but he said, do what you want, I don't care. He said, shoot them for all I care. You know what I mean? And Michael Simone was pretty clear that, we can do what we want. They're not going to protect them. So, obviously, Louis Blanc is now Seaside hanging around. He's obviously apparently distancing now with a picture, so he's not someone we're touching. But yeah, finding Frog's going to be the issue.
So as it stands, we want Frog and Chunker. Okay.
We're yet to get the Frog at all. We've been to Chunker. We've gotten to Chunker twice.
Start checking ponds and shit, bro.
Do we know what the Frog drives?
Looking for that Kermit.
He has a jugular and an Akuma.
What's do you know his number or no?
Yes.
We've got his name now. We can check on the...
So speaking of number, apparently he owes Pigeon money for
a radio scanner.
That he has received but not paid for. So Pigeon is open to setting him up.
That's great opportunity. That we should, if anything, I think that's a good enough opportunity to the point where we actually don't try anything until we've done that.
What is
I
his
mean,
number
that's
anyway?
assuming he's going to actually pay fucking Pigeon. 6477.
Okay.
Oh, I can't imagine he would not pay.
The guy seems
He's gonna
like,
get cut off otherwise.
I don't think he's gonna be crazy wealthy, to be honest, by the looks of things.
How much
How
are
much
radio
are they?
scanners now? Like 100K?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Probably thereabouts, yeah.
Ooh,
From
yeah,
the cars
Pigeon
he
can
drives
set him
and
up.
like,
That's a good lead.
I think you want a vault mat.
But that
bro,
that was
he looks- actually, I shouldn't say.
that was Miguel. That was Miguel and Pigeon. So I'm assuming he agreed to do it for Miguel because they're both CG rather than, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
But-
get Miguel to sort
but
it with Pigeon.
yeah.
That could be good.
Hello.
I think the only way we're gonna get to this guy, because we haven't seen our sight of him, bro, is that or we catch him at the lab. If he's the one buying the cameras, we catch him setting them up.
They've
I feel
got to
like,
know though, innit?
Judging.
That we know at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So do you think he's still gonna plant cameras there?
I think it's worth. I think it's worth a shot. I think it's better to just set, at least at the start of tsunami, just to check that rather than doing dummy cooks, because dummy cooks are going to be way too fucking obvious now that they know we know.
Do people know that we know about who he is?
Yeah, there's been enough questions asked about him by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, I mean Chunker, Miguel shot Chunker in the fucking face. So I mean.
So he doesn't think he's going under the radar still.
No,
no. Okay.
I doubt it. I highly
But
doubt
question, we know he bought radio scanner from Pigeon.
it.
That means he most likely probably bought motion sensors too, right?
Who do you get them off Pigeon too?
Yeah.
He didn't mention them.
It depends. He might have gone cameras and radio scanner, or because aren't motion sensors hella hard to get hold of?
I mean, if you can get a hold of a radio scanner, you can get a hold of a motion sensor, you know?
When did he buy it?
About was it 2 weeks ago?
Oh.
Ish.
Just ask Pigeon. Pigeon will be able to tell you.
I think he said
Yeah.
2 weeks if I remember. I'm not 100% sure though. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So next target is Frog, and then obviously Chunker if we can again.
Lovely.
Yeah.
No other targets on our list right now. I would consider Frog the main target and Chunker a secondary, but I feel like it's gonna be a lot easier to find Chunker than it is Frog.
If we stop the fake cooks, which I'm guessing we are, I would probably assume they're gonna think we've moved it, innit? Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But
So-
we basically agreed there's no point in moving it because that area is so shit. That's the best spot to
Oh,
defend.
it'll take them 10 minutes to find it again if we move it, realistically.
Exactly.
Like, it's-
Yeah. And that spot is so like on its own. You know, the scouts should see people coming close. There's the ladder to hold. It's just an all around good spot to hold. It might be a bad area, but it's a good spot in a bad area.
Yeah, it's the best of the worst.
The key will be moved though.
We'll go there tsunami then.
It's already
and
been
see
moved,
if
by
we
the way.
can find
Miguel
cameras.
Oh, has it?
What is
Miguel
it
took
moved
it and
now?
put it in his house. He was very angry at Denzel for oversharing and said, "I don't trust Denzel," and put it in his house. But he's not hiding it from us. They give it us whenever we want it. But he was kind of angry in the moment.
Yeah, Denzel's not happy at me and James, but
So what's the reasoning on that? Now we got all that out of the way. You're getting on this.
he said me and James basically like went at him while Miguel was while Miguel was there, but we didn't. Like the only thing I said to Miguel or to Denzel in front of Miguel was, I can't remember what I said. I think I just said you shouldn't have told them as much as you did. And then when Miguel left, Denzel accused me and James of having that opinion because Miguel had that opinion, which isn't true because I literally text Denzel mid-meeting while Miguel was still hid in the trunk to tell him to shut the fuck up and stop telling him so much info.
James and Denzel went back and forth and had a little bit of an argument.
The thing is with that, right, is Denzel prior was under the impression that the meth shit is his. So obviously, we share the lab with Hydra, so we have a right to be annoyed about what's going on, but equally so does Hydra. It's also theirs. But I could see him feel impressed because people are like, you know, doing shit in his quote unquote thing, you know. But if you're not disrespecting him and shit,
the issue with it is he basically went into that meeting with KJ like his best mate, and any lies we were catching him out on, he was giving him like exit clauses.
Mm.
So like me and James would like would call him out on something, and then Denzel would be like, "Oh, don't get me wrong, I've no doubt you don't know about this, and it's your gang hide." You know that kind of thing.
Did you map out like the game plan before the meeting, or was it just going into it blind?
It wasn't blind. I thought we were pretty clear we were going to keep our cards close to our chest, to be honest.
I think that was the plan, but Denzel didn't get that.
He might have also been blindsided by his relationship with Seaside, because it's no secret Denzel's very like close with Seaside, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's like, that friendship's kind of shook his morals a bit. But in a situation like this, you have to just kind of look at it separate. Like, you just have to cut off all emotional ties.
Yeah.
But also,
he's
ultimately,
kind of
there's not really
getting there.
much we can do without him being here for his side, innit? So.
Yeah, no, I know. And I was clear with him. I was like, it's not that I like, because he starts saying stuff like about the gang not making sure the gang has his back and shit. And I was saying to him, bro, just because we disagreed with how a meeting went doesn't mean nobody has your back. Like, I thought this gang as a whole were able to speak about things, you know?
He brought it up to Miguel as well, and Miguel told him to basically stop.
It's not the time to be emotional. Yeah, that's what Miguel said.
Who's that, Denzel?
Yeah.
Unlucky, mate.
Yeah, ultimately though, like, it's also like we do need to drive that line of Miguel is heavily involved with this meth lab stuff, but when it comes to like Mandem issues and stuff like that, out of respect to whoever's involved, like, it should just be a Mandem issue.
Yeah,
meth lab stuff, 100% Hydra Mandem, but if it comes down to like, there's disagreements within the group, just save it. Don't do that in front of other gangs, and then we deal with it when we're in our own time.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we didn't even really have a disagreement in front of Miguel. Like, the disagreement happened once Miguel left.
Yeah, that's not. I weren't there anyway, innit? So it's like we kind of need Denzel and then you have to hash it out, but we can do that when he's around.
It's already been hashed out, I'm pretty sure, but
sounds like James. What about with James?
Yeah, it was him and James that hashed out the most, to be honest.
Yeah.
So they're all good now.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, that's all right then.
I'm just letting people know in case shit kicks off again. You're kind of aware of the situation.
Yeah, I get it. It's like his baby, innit? He gets a bit protective over it.
I'm getting sued.
Besides from that, what else? Anything else?
I don't think so. We need to get this fucking weed operation rolling, man. I can't lie. We need to get.
We got an order from the Colombians coming in this evening, which is lovely. We should have as much as the Colombians can acquire. So I'm assuming we're probably going to have like, I don't know, maybe 20 runs, something like that.
Yeah.
So that would be a K a box and about 40 to 50K profit. The Eli stuff, we do, but there's only so many times we can say we need to get it going, but if he's not here, we can't do shit. So we'll just move with the Colombian stuff until he's here.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it depends how much Colombian stuff we get too, right? Like if we're getting 20 runs a week, it's...
I mean, the Colombians is pigeon, so as long as we can chat to pigeon, we can get weed.
Yeah. Saint?
Is any of that going into like bank account like we did last time, or the gang account?
The Colombian stuff, no.
It's Denzel's profit because he's getting them for 500 a box, selling them to us for 1,000 a box, and then street price is 1,500 a box.
It also depends if we can. Yeah, I mean it's Denzel's profit, but if Denzel's not around, I don't know what Pigeon will do. Pigeon might sell it direct, but that's a conversation to have with him, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean if they can supply us with a lot, then we don't really need the smoke on the water stuff. But the smoke on the water would be very helpful, even if it's just they do a couple of grows every week or two just to keep us topped up. You know, it would be nice to have it.
Once we have the seeds, they don't have to grow it, do they?
That's all it needs.
Once we have one seed,
they just want the seed.
Once we have one seed, they can do it.
Yeah, but that's more of a conversation with Eli and
Winston
and
that's the issue.
Am I dense, or I swear they have to just wake up for 10 minutes?
Yeah, but
but
I
they
don't
need
think
the
it's
actual
about
seed.
Do we not have seeds?
Not currently, but
No,
it's more about the conversation they've got to have as well.
Yeah, you're not being dense. In reality, if we have any seeds at all, Eli can grow one plant and
It's more about the fact of Eli's grown so much. Like last time we did the weed shed. He's like, this is the last time I'm gonna redo it, because we've on the weed operation we have been always lazy with it. You know. There's some people that take it more seriously, like Sparky. You know.
We'll cut that laziness out. You know, we don't.
Yeah.
We won't be touching it.
I get his frustration, but if T's told us to step up, we all need to actually step up.
Yeah, it's a new page.
The conversation was left that he's going to speak to Winston. He's going to speak to Winston. He'll get the seeds. Like, it's just straightforward. We'll let that conversation happen. We'll let them work it out, and then we'll get the weed. We're going to have the Colombian shit, so we don't need to worry about it right now.
That's that. The meth, obviously, we're not producing from the lab right now, but we're still pumping out the tables.
We're about
I don't know what
halfway
everyone
to
else
a
thinks.
run, I think, in one of the journeys.
Yeah, in my opinion, on the next run, I think we just need to be more prepared to... Because here's what I think. A lot of the runs I've driven and successfully done, I have basically solo driven, and the other 5 involved were just feeding me info, and they just didn't get involved. Because if no one gets involved, I only have to deal with 6 units on Air 1. And to me, losing 6 units once Air 1 breaks is not difficult. As soon as interference gets involved, you're dealing with 15 plus. And parallels just make it almost impossible to lose them, and then it just results in a shootout. So I'm of the opinion we should try a run where we have no interference, obviously unless you fucking get flipped or some shit. That's a different ballgame.
Until it's
and just see
type shit.
Yeah, and just see if you can just, when Air 1 breaks, just cook them with the 6 units. And if it gets to a point where it's a lost cause, we just ditch the car. Because what a good failsafe, because I'll be on blue bags, is having 2 people waiting at the end of Deanswell Pier in the water with scuba tanks. I ocean dump the car, take the meth out of the fucking boot and swim away. And then if we get caught, fuck it, it's GTA and possessions.
What's your rep, Jay? On the runs?
I did 8 in a row, and then it just became impossible. I filled the last 4.
It's difficult. It is a lot more difficult than it used to be. For sure. Especially like these times, there's a lot less crime going on. So it does get rough.
I just think shooting cops in reality is just not a goer in these runs. And unfortunately, on almost every run, it gets to that point. So I think we just need to learn to call it before it gets to it, you know? Because here's the thing. We lose the run, it's 50 pillows. What, that's 40 thinner, which is what, 100k?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Something like that.
150k, yeah.
If we're losing 100k worth of pillows is all we lose, and everyone else gets away, no one gets possession charges or anything, all it takes is one person to be arrested with a deagle, and it's already cost more than what's in the boot of that car.
Yeah. Like last run, we lost what, like 1.5, maybe a mil in total.
Probably not far off it. The run itself,
Yeah.
6 of us got arrested.
Well,
so
yeah, that's
like,
the shootouts are
fines.
expensive as fuck, bro. The cop shootouts are crazy expensive.
50,
Yeah.
60k each fines.
I'm pretty sure not everyone's got crazy P's at the moment as well.
Yeah.
We can also do like, if we want to do like, because we did that before with Cruiser, right? We've done meth runs with Jay and Cruiser, where Cruiser took the comms work.
Yeah, and I literally
we
just
don't get
drove.
involved, and Jay's literally driven, and we've been away.
That doesn't work anymore because back then when you did that, you would actually be able to drive. Now they just ram you at max speed and then immediately fucking spike you. They just don't care.
You should try it for
they
one
spike from the
and
start.
see how it goes. And if it
I'm
doesn't work,
confident.
we'll have to
I'm open to
adapt.
being humbled by them, but I'm pretty confident I can outdrive them without interference.
As long as you don't sit in a bush and then get yourself boxed, we'll be all right.
I'm glad that happened, I'll be honest. Matt's warrants aren't an issue anymore. It's such a weight off my shoulders. I've spent the last 3 days chasing around like a dog trying to get my chases.
What can I
Hey,
say?
that boy's still
like a
going to be
relief.
getting chased. If you think Matthew Antov needs a warrant to get chased, you're bugging.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
First, that race is fat. I want to do some more racing. That was fun.
That's basically everything
Cool,
anyway.
so-
We should
Yeah, I think that's
before we go in
everything.
circles, because
Why being so